another travel guide. Today, we are exploring Waco, Texas. There are some cool spots and good eats we must hit along this trip. We are currently on the 3rd episode of Season 3. Leave in the comments below of other towns I should explore. Now, Waco may have a strange history, but don't let that fool you. It is a town full of stuff to do, good food, and great people. Shout out to Miss K at the barbecue spot later on in the video. Let's just get right into it and head to breakfast at Biddy and Bayou's Coffee, a local coffee shop serving up some caffeine drinks and carby delights, where I picked up some muffins and some tea. Overall, solid spot with great service. We are running a little late today, so we scarfed everything down quickly and headed off to the first destination. The local flea market called Treasure City.
Yar, let's see what treasure be laying around every corner. Do ye fill the ship stores or go home drier than a dead parrot squall? Yar! We have arrived to the Waco flea market full of many hidden treasures for every faring lad. The market be bigger than Pirates Cove near Barbados. There be many wares to plunder, like DVDs to keep your mind at bay on long sea nights, furniture to spruce up your bunk, landlubber hats to blend in before ye go on a raid. Yar! This be just the start, with a variety of other wares and oddities to explore with the next booth having any used tool to fix the ship in a pinch along some boots, beds, and shades, oh my. Well, there be a touch of what is here, with many more wares and goods to discover. Let's check in on the rating party to see how they are fared. Yar! This be one-eyed dilly. See you at the next port.
Welcome to Treasure City Flea Market. So we are right now a little bit outside of downtown Waco and at a big old flea market. This place is way bigger than I expected. I thought it was just going to be maybe like 30, 40 stands, walk in, walk out, but yeah, we're only going to be able to see half of it for right now, and it's overall really cool. It's a different style flea market than a lot that I've been to, because like we're around where I came from, a lot of flea markets were super food heavy, and was more like knockoff stuff. This one is like, feels like a massive yard sale, like flea market, just like anything and everything you can think of is here. It's not as like food heavy, like I said, as others have been, so it's pretty different. It's time to hit the town, but first get some first impressions on the waltz over. And we are currently kind of making our way out and around town. There's a couple spots outside of downtown that look kind of cool and look like really neat spots. So right now, right over here, as you can see, those are silos, and this area is called the silos. Let's cross the street first. So it looks like this is like an older, maybe like foundry or silos or whatever, as we make our way towards it. And there's like a whole bunch of like little shops, food trucks, whatever in there, and like things to do. Let's roll on in, and I'll let the narration take over. Let's head on in. Just down the road is one of the new hot spots for Waco, Texas. This area is known as the Silos or Magnolias. This is a neat, kinda trendy spot that felt like a middle-aged woman's paradise. But overall, a cool spot to check out with tons of shops, food trucks, and just things to check out. We started out in one of the main shops that is a retrofitted industrial building housing a bunch of knickknacks and random items. Next up, I moseyed on over to the little outdoor botanical garden area to see what was grown in these parts. Between this spot and some of the shops is a large center courtyard with a bunch of food trucks and places to just hang out and take it all in. The other end of the campus included a home goods and furniture store, kickball or baseball diamond, and a bunch of little shops, including, I'm gonna mess this one up, VBN Ami? VBN, yeah, we're just gonna roll with that one. Fernie's, Reverie, Tried and True, and a couple of creatively named shops like Chapter 1 and Number 16. And lastly, this old, really cool restored church in the center of the little shop's courtyard. We decided to move on to the town and see what was happening there. On our way over, we decided to stop by a couple snacking spots for some baked sugar, taking a stop at Milk Bottle Cookies that served up some local milk and these great big puffy yummy cookies. I decided to go with a peanut butter cookie and it did not disappoint. Another quick chocolatey stop on the waltz to downtown was Splendid Oats. Now this was a fancy chocolate spot that had a specialized chocolatier that handmade all of these pretty little delights. To be honest, they looked so cool you didn't even really want to eat them. Overall, it was pretty cool. I've never really had chocolate like this before unless it was one of those rough multi-packs that show up right around Christmas every year. These aren't exactly my thing, but it was worth trying out. Here's a little selection of what we chose. Let's check in before walking through Main Street of Waco, Texas. Alrighty, so we're heading into downtown. It was a bit of a walk. We walked from Magnolia's over to here because the whole downtown shut down because we are here on Veterans Day. So if you notice, there's some bands and stuff going on right up there. There's a whole Veterans Day parade happening. So let's go check it out. We're going to keep going. I just want to do a little side note while we're moseying around doing a town trip. I'll see you in there. Due to the parade, a lot of the stores and shops were either just starting to open up or weren't open just yet. So here are some of the stores we had passed by along the walkthrough. Waco Ale Company, Kendra Scott, Maria Mezcaleria, Waco Theater, 712, well, wait a second, Austin Ave, which was a large 2-story vendor thrift store full of items to take a look at. The second floor entrance can be easy to miss, so just keep your eye out. Continuing on to Bloomingdale's, Dichotomy, Schmutz, Clay Pots, Barnett's Pub, and finally Hammer and Stain. With all this walking and browsing this morning, we have worked up a pretty decent appetite. Lunch was calling our name from the other side of the Brazos River, where the blend of Louisiana and Texas barbecue met at Papa Jack's Barbecue, where I picked up chopped brisket with smoked mac and cheese and a smoked cabbage wedge. Everything was solid. There were some unique flavors in this compared to a lot of other barbecues I've had in Texas. The mac and cheese had to be the smokiest mac and cheese I've ever had. It was pretty wild. But we met the owner, Miss K, while chowing down and talked to her a bit. Unfortunately, I only have a couple shots of this place, but long story short, she was a very nice person and it sounds like she tries to do a lot for the locals and even donates any extra food they have to the local food banks. One little side note, try out one of her homemade pies. They were all very good. She would not let us leave without at least trying something. I really hope I'll be able to stop here again another time. It's time to waddle our full bellies from Papa Jack's to a first for the travel guide series. Let's check in. Alrighty, as you can see, we are now in a new place. We're in the Cameron Zoo in Waco, Texas, and just enjoying the day. So this is our next stop in the journey. We just finished up lunch, which was awesome, and welcome to the trip. So it's pretty much like one big loop. It's a pretty nice zoo overall, and luckily it's comfortable out. The skies open up a little bit. It's a nice day. So let's go check this zoo out. I haven't really featured a zoo yet in one of these, so let's see how it goes. We'll kind of pan around, check the stuff out, and get a feel for everything. This is a smaller zoo, but it's a nice one. Overall, it was quiet and not too crowded, which made it an overall pretty pleasant experience. We started off in the Brazos River Valley section that shows off more of the localish wildlife, like the aquatic critters zooming on by, or the black bears making friends with the entire town of vultures, then taking us through the aquatic section that has these big old paddlefish just acting very surprised, or just eating. You can be the judge. In this same area were a bunch of snakes as well, like this neat two-headed one, or an absolute tonka of a rattler. Once you head back outside the aquatic space, there are some nice nature paths meant for butterflies and local critters to hang out. The twisting path follows some water all the way up to some artificial falls and some big kitties, or some call them jaguars. Near the big cats are a group of wild doggies or coyotes. It's time to head back inside where, who you looking at? Look at the sun. Look at it. Look at the size of those grabbers. I would not want to get in your way, or yours. That wouldn't feel good. With a couple more of their friends hanging around inside. This about marks the end-ish of this portion of the zoo, and it's time to check out the other side. The African Savannah! This section had a cool little snacking area before heading into this section of the zoo. It was a nice way of getting you ready for the animals you are going to be gandering at. Starting off with these large birds, Cody busted! Leading you into a large open enclosure. Right next to them are these big old rhinos grazing in the sun, hanging out. Continuing the large animal tour is the Elephantes. They were a little ways away, but still cool to see. Last but not least is the king of the jungle themselves, the lions! One last animal showcase are these fun fellas, the orangutans. They are fun to stop by and see them mosey around doing orangutan things. This zoo does have some more to offer and is worth stopping by. I like that it's not huge and can be a nice little stopping point while in town. Great for the family. Right next to the Cameron Zoo is a large open space with a bunch of hiking trails to explore. Let's check in on the ground crew. Alrighty, we are on the next leg of the journey today, and we just left the zoo. Right next to the zoo are some like outdoorsy area, hiking trails, kayaking on the river, do whatever you want. Nice open space. So we're gonna do a little hike here. Its name is a little ridiculous. You got California 56, Picnic, Rio Paradito, Speed Run, and Sidewinder Trail. So yeah, say that 5 times fast. But yeah, overall shouldn't be too hard of a hike. Should be easy, and here we go. We'll jump into it. This won't be like, this is, and then we will head off to dinner. So we'll see you there.
Little did this venture trio know, it would become a short but harrowing hike just outside of this animal-rich zoo. The sun was going down fast with no other adventurers on the trail. Something felt awry, but they pressed on. Deeper into the wilderness, they marched, thinking it was just another small little waltz in the woods. All felt well, and the scenery and thick forest growth made for some nice views. The trail kept pushing deeper into the Texan jungle, taking the travelers over some pretty bridges, providing a false sense of security. But as time passed and the light grew increasingly darker and trails became less well marked, they found themselves wasting precious time walking in circles, having to double back, right as all hope felt lost. They found a road and swiftly followed it up to a clearing, trying to get a bearing of where they were. Luckily, they found a shortcut route back, lit by just a little battery left on their receptionless cell phones. The trio were greatly relieved to see they were closing in on the start. From all the stress and flow and endless trails, built up quite an appetite in them sweaty bellies. Let's jump in on the experience before grabbing some much needed hero food.
Alrighty, so we're coming to the end of this hike here. I just want to give you a heads up. This is a strange hike. The hiking trails are spaghetti here, and almost none of them are marked. And it was weird when I was using my app to track it, the trail didn't exist that we were supposed to go on, so we kind of walked around in a couple circles and a couple goofy loops that didn't exist on the app but were there, but the actual trail doesn't exist. So we decided to kind of kill that portion of the loop because it was getting dark, so we don't want to get lost. And we came up at least to the main overlook the trail takes you to. We just took some of the road up, but it's cool. I actually enjoy it. It's really nice. This is kind of one of the cooler hikes I think I've done here, at least in this part of like Texas. I've only done 1 or 2. We'll head out to dinner and I'll check in there and we'll give you the final observations. So I'll see you there. The start of our last little venture here in Waco, Texas is at the Route 77 Food Park and Bar. I got a few different styles of tacos and everyone else got a quesadilla, wings, and some burgers that didn't come out just yet. This place was nice. It had a great atmosphere and generally was a great evening, with plenty of outdoor seating and some games like cornhole outside. Inside the main building that the food trucks wrapped around is a small bar where you can buy any adult beverages you would like. Understandably, these food trucks probably do rotate in and out, but as a whole, everything was great. I do need to give a little shout out to the chorizo tacos from the taco truck. They were definitely some of the best ones I've ever had, and when I had asked them about it, they said that they were made in-house. Well, this brings yet another travel guide to a close. Please let me know what you think about going to different states and towns outside of the Grotto. If any of you want me to visit a specific place, please leave it below in the comments, and hopefully I can make it there to visit. I do try to have a variety when I'm making these trips, so just because a town may not be at Breckenridge, Fort Worth, or Jim Thorpe, does not mean I won't look into it and may visit and make a travel guide for your town. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.